Technology. Everyone uses technology. We use technology for work, school, and even for our free time. Today's world is quickly progressing as per technological advances in order to make life easier. Or does it just make life even more complicated? Well, let's go to Redeemer for more information on this intriguing topic.
As inquisitive students from 8A and 8C, we wanted to dig a little deeper on this topic. We conducted an experiment to investigate the different attitudes towards the use of technology for education and how it differs based on generation. As a student, I much rather prefer using technology over textbooks for my learning. I know many people agree, but many people disagree as well. A factor in this difference in opinion has to do with generation gap.
Now, let's learn a little bit more about the different generations. There are 4 definite generations learning, working, and living together. The first generation is known as the silent generation. They were born from 1925 to 1945. They are described as hardworking, loyal, submissive, and tech-challenged. The second generation is known as the baby boomers. They are born from 1946 to 1964. Some common characteristics of the baby boomers are they're work-centric, independent, goal-oriented, and competitive. The third generation is known as Generation X. They were born from 1965 to 1980. Some common characteristics are they're flexible, individualistic, adapt easily to technology, they know how to balance life, and value work. The final generation is known as Generation Y or Millennials. They were born from 1981 to 2001. Some common characteristics are they're tech-savvy, attention-craving, team-oriented, and family-centric. Generational gaps is a huge factor when it comes to making it a problem to adapt in today's world because individuals from each generation has different learning styles, characteristics, attitudes, and expectations. Technological advances are progressing quickly and is now used in schools everywhere. But what is interesting is that some teachers refrain from using technology like computers and tablets and feel more comfortable sticking to textbooks to educate their students. This observation led to the question, how does the attitude toward the use of technology for educational purposes differ due to generation? The purpose of the study created by the 8A and 8C students is to dig a little deeper into how generational gaps cause a problem to adapt in today's world and which generation has a more positive or negative attitude towards the use of technology for education. Hypothesis. If the attitude toward the use of technology differs depending on generation, then the millennials will have a much more positive attitude because according to a study done by the University of Wisconsin, the different learning styles and decreased fear of not knowing how to use technology affects the attitude of each generation. Independent variable. Generations. Dependent variable. The difference in attitude. Note, only Generation X, Millennials, and Baby Boomers were tested. In order to conduct the experiment, the group gathered 10 individuals from each generation and asked them to fill out a survey. The survey had a total of 5 questions, and each question was followed by a number scale. The first question was, do you think technology makes learning easy? Do you feel it is easier or harder to learn to use new technology? Do you feel skeptical about using technology for educational purposes? Do you prefer reading electronically over hard copies? Would you prefer to use textbooks to learn over technology? After averaging the data, we found out that Millennials/Generation Y had the most positive attitude toward the use of technology. Baby Boomers had the most negative attitude, and Generation X leaned more on the positive attitude, but was not as positive as Millennials/Generation Y. Our hypothesis was supported by the data. So, what is our conclusion from this experiment? As millennials, students like us feel comfortable using technology for educational purposes. But if our educators feel that technology is too complicated or inefficient, students may end up getting bad grades, dropping out of school, having low self-esteem, and many more issues. The solution to this dilemma is to have the Board of Education start facilities or classes for educators who do not feel comfortable using technology. This will make a tremendous difference to individuals who find technology hard and difficult to use, because these facilities will guide them and teach them how to use technology properly.